I had to pause for a moment on my way through a rainy city, north side of the city, and talk about the market real quick. We made a decision whether the market was going to be up or down in the morning, that we were going to go basically all in. So we went all in again, no surprise to somebody who's watching this show. All in for the week means our risk capital, which is available for a payoff if we're right this week. If not, that risk capital will be lost. So we are all in again, and now came to unfortunate kind of, I thought, a realization or epiphany, if you will, about the reason why. I thought Donald Trump was very prophetic back in the summer of last year, 2016, when he talked about the stock market is a big juicy bubble. He said once interest rates get ready to rise, that bubble is going to come crashing down really hard. I think that was a prophetic comment, and he was absolutely correct. And he said it right off the cuff from his instinct, which I think is the best part of Donald Trump, who I'm a big fan of. However, Donald, don't get yourself attached to your stock market performance, because when that performance changes, you don't want to be tied to that. Your presidency is greater than the stock market performance right now. There has to be a reckoning of sorts for the fraudulent federal involvement in the markets over the last 10 years. Accept that. You're on the right track, bringing jobs back to America, bringing safety back to America, putting America first. God bless Donald Trump. Don't get tied to the stock market. We're going to have a crash. Reagan lived through a crash, and he was the greatest president in the history of the world. You will be too. Don't tie yourselves to the stock market, because what happened here, what I would call the kiss of death, which is an unfortunate slip of the tongue. It's not his fault, but I saw him yesterday kind of on a show basically bragging about the performance of the stock market during his administration. Now, on one hand, he's right. Things are up 12% since he's been around or elected, roughly, give or take. So he's right about that. But what happens is he has to realize that those policies he's putting into place, which are going to help America long term, are extremely inflationary. So the entire interest rate complex has got to change. And that is what the stock market, the NASDAQ, nor the fix and flip market and the real estate market are prepared to deal with today. So last thing I want to do real quick, and again, this is only for professional speculators. This is not for average investors at all. Only people with capital risk to lose. I wanted to give just a very brief synopsis, approximate summary and synopsis of what's possible versus what's at risk for us now that we're all in at risk right now as we speak. Standing out here in the rain. I'm walking to see my lawyer for a divorce issue, which sucks, but that's a whole nother issue. But what Trump was doing was bragging about the level of the stock market yesterday, and that means he's going to get tied to it when the market goes the other way. So Donald, careful about that. But what's gone on in the last day or so made me very confident. So for us, let's say we put up 5 cents of risk, knowing we could be wrong anytime, and that 5 cents could be evaporated by the end of this week, which is in fact the case, for what we hope will be, maybe if we're right, 100 pennies of payoff, $1 of payoff, potentially, give or take. So it's a very, it's high risk on the deposit, but the reward on the deposit is, can be any larger multiple, let's say between 10 and 20 times the deposit. So the risk, I think, is we're underpaying for the risk, because I think the upside on our transaction doesn't have a limit of any kind. So we scaled in kind of close to the money when the NASDAQ was about 16. If the market goes up a little bit today, whatever, it's not going to bother us. A lot of big events come in the next couple days. Market breaks below 20,000. If it stays there this afternoon, you're going to get some big investors very nervous. I'm counting on that nervousness, and we're counting on a sharp break in the market. I'll report back how our 5 cents are doing, just roughly, as we have more information. But watch out, this market's going lower, a lot lower. Donald, don't try to tie your presidency to the levels in the stock market. Think bigger like that. Reagan thought bigger. You need to think bigger. God bless America. Keep America safe.